The OS35 has been a familiar sight off Catalan Bay for the better part of a year. The stern section of the ship has been raised and stabilised, and almost as if we'd pressed the rewind button, now half the ship looks like it's ready to just sail away. Work now needs to start on the bow, the remaining piece of the wreck that still needs lifting. Today, the media was invited to see how this picture has changed.
Unfortunately, we're expecting some unfavourable weather this weekend, which is going to, again, force us to temporarily suspend works just to make sure that we do the operation safely. But we are very much at the last phases of this operation. And even for the final phase, which we've always said is the most delicate phase, a lot of planning, a lot of worry and stress goes into making sure that we are ready for every eventuality for that very delicate phase.
But as you say, delicate but controlled, because when the ship actually split in the middle the first time, you had no control over that.
Absolutely, and this is the difference. I mean, the operation that we've done for raising the stern, whilst we always said it was going to be visually boring because there wasn't anything that was going to be showing a very quick move, the reality is that it's progressed very carefully, very deliberately, and we've managed to do it in a very safe manner, which is what we want. And all throughout these operations, we've said, first and foremost, the best way to protect the environment and protect the workers who are doing this job is to make sure that we do deliberate, very carefully, rather than trying to rush it.
And as you said, delicate, so the risks are still there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the image was a very different one to that which we're used to. The captain of the port described the operation as very complex, with the two sections of the ship requiring different methodologies for their lifting. The stern had been sank deliberately for stabilisation in the knowledge that this was reversible. This brought with it its own challenges. The bulk carrier had suffered severe storm damage and was cut in half. Every compartment had to be checked and pressurised, with welding patches needed in some areas. It was a slow operation, leading up to the contractor feeling confident that buoyancy could be established while ensuring stability.
The stern section is stable. We have the news back from the contractors. They are not needing to pump to maintain it afloat. So the little water ingress that there is very much controllable. They have staff on board monitoring it anyway to make sure that it stays that way. But right now, the stern section, we are done with it until we get to the point where we put it onto the semi-submersible for its departure.
I know that mariners are, by their very nature, quite superstitious, and you won't want to say anything until the operation is completely finished. But would you say it's been a success?
Again, so far, we have to express our satisfaction in the way it's been carried out. I think it's too early to say it's been a success. We're almost at the end. Once the operation is concluded, and I'm very hopeful and confident that we will carry on having an optimistic and a positive outlook of how the operation as a whole has gone. But still, I think it's too early to be able to say we're very happy with the entire operation. So far, everything has gone very well. Ideally, we would have wanted to do it sooner, but we can't control the weather. And as I've said, it's more important that we do it carefully, deliberately, and in a planned, controlled manner than trying to rush it to meet any deadlines, because that then raises the risk of something going wrong and further delaying the entire operation.
So near and yet so far, the operation to remove the OS35 is almost over. It's had its ups and downs and could again be hampered by bad weather. But this site behind me could soon be a thing of the past.